Good evening and welcome to my segment. I thought that today we should have a little bit of a show and tell, as Neil suggested. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you some of the AliExpress bits that I got. Here you see a TinySA Ultra, which is essentially being used as a signal generator. It's got that capability. You can actually dial up a frequency and the actual output level, and it'll hopefully produce a relatively accurate signal. So what I've done here, I've got a little power meter that I got on Ali. It's around about $55 delivered. It's quite accurate, surprisingly. So what I've got here, I've got a 10 megahertz signal source set at about 18 decibels. And the meter is showing it pretty accurate. And what I'm doing now is dialing in 1287 just to see how well it actually responds at higher frequencies. The thing is that you don't really know if it's the signal generator or the meter. There's about a half a dBm difference, which is relatively small considering the frequencies and the power levels that we're using. So I'm quite impressed with that. Unfortunately, the buttons on the device are quite, well, I would say not very reliable. There's probably quite a lot of signal bounce. You know, you sort of click it and it goes to 2 instead of 1. But that's still manageable. It's obviously a little bit of software problems that they've got there with the debounce, but nevertheless it's functional. So what I'm doing, I'm dialing in here 1287 and then hitting OK, and that will actually set the frequency. See, these little analog device power meter monolithic devices, if that's what they're called, they are frequency dependent, obviously, and you know, if you've set the specific frequency there, there's more accuracy. So what I've got here, I've got 18.5 dB or 28.5 at the moment, and it's showing me 27.7, something like that, 28 almost. So we're talking about 0.6, 0.7 of a dBm, which is pretty good. It probably varies quite a lot. Again, I can't really tell whether there's a loss in the cable, whether the meter is not very accurate, or whether the signal generator. But nevertheless, it gives you a good bit of feedback there. If you're just looking for some sort of a power meter for $50, it's very good. Obviously, you need an attenuator. It's quite low level for the measurements, but you know, once you've got that sorted out, it should be quite good. Here I've got about 38.5 dBm, and it's showing me 39, so we're talking about half a dBm. Again, very good considering. So one very useful device. I hope you enjoyed that one. Now, what do we got? We've got another device. I haven't even bothered taking it out of its plastic bag or anti-static bag. This is essentially a non-active mixer. It's a pretty simple device, a couple of bucks, very useful if you want to mix some signals together. Highly recommended. Again, nothing special, but another little thing for your toolbox. Now, you may have seen some videos on power dividers, the Wilkinson power dividers. Well, I've got another type here. This is essentially using the same principle, and it works exactly the same way. But this particular design, it's got quite a lot of quarter wave sections. I haven't really looked into this, but I suppose the theory behind this one is that it is presumably more linear, because you've got different sort of stubs for presumably different frequencies, so it'll be pretty linear from about half to 4 gigahertz, as they say. Again, I haven't tested it, but it looks quite interesting. So yeah, just another variant of the same thing, the Wilkinson power divider, an indispensable little gadget for your bag of tricks. So highly recommend that you get a couple of those for that price. You can afford it. Now there's another device, nothing special, but I thought it would be quite useful. This is essentially an RS-232 to Ethernet converter. Sometimes you want to control some devices that are not very intelligent. In other words, they've got TTL or RS-232 levels, but you want to control them remotely via the internet. Well, this is it. This is the device. Essentially, you've got the sort of voltage levels, and it'll actually turn it into an IP stream that you can actually connect to. I actually use that to control an SPE linear amplifier for remote. Essentially, you can dial into it via a computer with a RS-232 port, but this was enabling me to control it via the internet. Very, very useful device, and again, highly recommend it. Anyway, that's all folks for this particular session. I hope you enjoyed it, and take care.